Few more minutes and we'll start, guys and gals. So we're going to get started on the September Business Lunch and Talk. I want to welcome everybody today to this September 29th Business Lunch and Talk. We have a really filled agenda today, so we're going to get started, and I'll let Greg Kolomitz, who is the president of the Chamber of Commerce Board of Directors, start us off and tell us a little bit about what's going on at the Chamber. So go ahead, Greg.
I have no idea how I became the president of the Chamber of Commerce, but it's a great organization, and we've got a great opportunity to work with really talented individuals. So real quick, because Julie's got me on a short timeline here, just thank everybody for their support for Early Settlers Day. You know, the weather wasn't great, but the feedback we've gotten despite the weather seemed like everybody had a good time, and we had a good event. I think we could always learn from our mistakes and are welcome to feedback and input, but despite the weather, I think it was a good event. So we're excited about that and glad it's in the past. And my cohort Amy and I, we're already planning for next year. So I just suckered you in right there, Amy.
Greg, do you or Amy want to talk a little bit about the Veterans Day program that's coming up in November?
Julie, I have an agenda here, so just
okay,
settle down. So the next thing I want to talk about, and Ange might hit this in a minute. The Otero Museum is having their chuck wagon dinner on Otero on October the 8th, same day as the Tarantula Festival. So we're going to have a lot of activities going on. I'm sure Ange is going to talk about that. I know she is, but want to promote the chuck wagon dinner for the Otero Museum starting at 5 p.m. and that's located at 3rd and Anderson. You can purchase tickets there at the door. It's a $10 donation. So
I also have tickets for sale. Sorry, Greg,
yeah.
I have tickets for sale too.
Yeah. So just wanted to put that out there, make sure everybody knows about that. We are with the passing of Glenn Parker, God rest his soul, the chamber we had a lapse in our Veterans Day memorial activities, but we're going to pick that back up. Amy's taken the lead role on that. We're going to have a memorial and a service on Veterans Day, November 10th. And we'll have another BLT before we get to that, but we are doing that. We'll do it at the intermediate school, and so we're going to do that. The chamber's going to pick that up. So, and Amy's taking the lead, and thank you, Amy, for that. The last thing I'll say is it's hard to believe we're talking about Christmas lights, but Parade of Lights is December 3rd, Saturday. We'll start at 6 p.m. It'll be the same routine. We'll start at 2nd and Santa Fe, and we'll get more details out as that goes. So we got a lot of events going on, and then we've got a lot of things that we're trying to do to develop economic development and leadership, and a lot of things within Lahana. But and as we get more details and information on that, we'll share that. But these are the things that are forthcoming, and just appreciate everybody's support for the chamber. Thank you.
Does anyone have any questions for Greg? Greg, you kept it right on target. Thank you.
I know, Julie. I know. Don't mess with Julie Mama.
So now I want to welcome Ann Boswell, who is the new communications coordinator out at Southeast Colorado Power Association and with CCOM. And we want to thank CCOM for providing internet into the Chamber of Commerce. As we affectionately say, they keep the Chamber of Commerce connected. So Ann, we'll turn it over to you.
Okay, well, hi everyone. I guess you guys know me from different places around town, but now I'm in this new role as communications coordinator. So as Julie mentioned, it's a new role, and I'll be doing anything about getting information out to the media, information about products and services, outages, events coming up, careers, positions available here at CCOM and Southeast Colorado Power Association. So if you need to reach out to me and you have a pen handy, just go ahead and jot down my email now if you would. It's just AnnB, ANNEB at secpa.com. And my direct line number to reach me at my desk is 719-363-1432. So we do have some pretty exciting news for some CCOM customers that have been waiting for fiber in the east end of La Junta, because we are now able to add that. In fact, we've added that from 6th Street, from Adams east to Prospect, and then down along Adams south to 14th Street. So if you're in that area and you're interested in fiber, give us a call. Of course, high-speed fiber with CCOM is just really awesome. You know, who wouldn't want that? You can just call us at 800-657-7149. You can also visit us on our website if that's easier, and it's easier for a lot of people just to go to ccom.net, and you'll see the packages available, coverage areas, and more. So I want to bring up the Affordable Connectivity Program, because that's something that a lot of people could really benefit from, and I'm not sure that everybody knows about it. But if you qualify, if you're a low-income household, you can get help for paying for your internet on things like computers and like your laptop, your tablet. It's a government program, and it's administered through the FCC, the Federal Communications Commission, and you might be eligible. And you just have to meet some criteria. You have to be below the federal poverty line. Someone in your house can receive benefits. So if someone's receiving like SNAP, Medicaid, free reduced price lunches, it pays up to $30 of a discount on your internet service. You can just call us. We can help you know if you qualify or not. There's just some things that you might want to take advantage of there. And lastly, we know we have a lot of rural areas out here. We live in the country, and fiber isn't available everywhere, but we are still the most affordable and reliable service for ranchers and farmers and farms and places like that. Where fiber isn't available, the wireless service is very good, and we're trying to get fiber out to places. So that being said, fiber is available in places, but we really need people to kind of get together, 15, 20 people in a neighborhood that decide they want it. We'll certainly look into whether or not that is an option in our area where we offer that. So a lot of people who do live in the country are trying to go to satellite, but I just want to remind everybody that costs $700 up front. It's very expensive, and we're still the most affordable option around for reliable internet in the country. So, you know, out where we live, it is still available. So on the Southeast Colorado Power Association side, a couple of things to mention as well. We have a date for our annual meeting planned each year. We do those in a different district of the service area. It just gives you a chance to make it. Maybe if you didn't want to drive all the way down to the district in the meeting in Springfield, this one might be a little closer for you. This next one, which is going to be in April, is going to be in Eads. So when you come to the annual meeting, of course, a lot of fun. We try to do some fun things and let our members know of what is happening and what's going on. Of course, you can watch our website because we'll have more information on that coming up. We just got to save the date. There will be more information on that coming up. So I want to talk about the website. So we will soon be launching a totally revamped Southeast Colorado Power Association website. I've been working on it and I'm really excited. We're hoping that that's going to be out maybe in the next week or so. All the things that are on the website that you are enjoying right now, like Smart Hub, where you can log on, pay your bill, look at things like that, that's still going to be there. We just added a few things and just hopefully made it a little more user-friendly and brought it a little more up to date. So stay tuned. I'm so excited about that. And just to remind you that when you do go on the website, there's a possibility that you might have qualified for some rebates and you've made some improvements to your home, maybe bought some appliances. All that information is there for you. And our power supplier, Tri-State, also offers rebates. So you might just be ching, 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 win, win, win with the rebates. So you want to log on and make sure that you're not missing out on money. So I'm going to wrap up by saying it's a beautiful day today, but it's not always going to be. We're going to be turning on those space heaters soon. And there's just some safety issues that I want everybody to know. Of course, we say make sure that if you're using space heaters, keep them 4 feet away from furniture and bedding, things like that. Never use a generator indoors. And we'll also be having a little more information come out about safety issues as we become closer to the winter months, some preparedness. All of that is in the works. That's a tease, we would say. We would call that in television. So anyway, stay tuned.
Does anyone have any questions for Ann? We thank you, Ann, for joining us, and we'll hear from you again soon.
Thank you.
So we're going to hear now some exciting news from our county. We have County Commissioner Rob Oquist with us, and he's going to talk to us about what's going on in Otero County. So Rob.
Good morning, everyone. We've got a lot of things going on right now in the county. Of course, it's budget season, so that really takes a lot of our time. But we have been working for the last about 4 months on getting the new jail started. Our county jail is in this kind of shambles, is not in very good shape anymore, and we're going to build a new jail. And so we've been talking to contractors. We've had 6 contractors together and looking at everything, and we've picked a contractor now, and it's Nunn Construction out of Pueblo. So we'll start setting and doing some more designing with them in the next few months, and hopefully come springtime, we'll start building a jail. And then if you've noticed, we have on the north side of the courthouse, we have built a single point entry into the courthouse. We're only one of 2 courthouses left in the state that doesn't have a single point entry. So we've gotten most all of it built. The machines yet have not come in. And of course, like everything else, everything's backlogged, and we're just sitting waiting for the machines to come in and get some steel put up outside yet. And so hopefully we're hoping by maybe the first of the year that will be open. And then once that opens, there won't be any more bringing any weapons inside of the courthouse. And I know some people don't like that, but you know, the way our society is going now, it's just pushing to that point. And so it'll be a change for people at first, but I think it'll be good. And in the end, it'll work out. It's going to be good for the courts and good for our social services people. It'll keep them a whole lot more protected. So it's coming along, and we've gotten we've just been busy with a lot of things going on. But that's the biggest things that we're doing at the county so far.
Okay, Rob, I have a question. What kind of machines are you talking about?
Just like the machines, like when you go into the airport and things, you'll have to put your purse through a machine and they will, I don't think it'll be a, search or anything else, any of that stuff. They'll just check your purse with an X-ray machine.
So we don't need to take our shoes off?
Well, I hope not. I don't think that's the way it will be.
So then how will it work with the other doors, like the south and the east door? They'll be locked and you'll
They'll
have
be
to open
locked.
that north door?
Yep, they'll be for the employees only.
Okay,
It'll be just like it was before,
okay.
that those will be locked, and just the employees will be able to come in those doors.
Oh, okay, right. Okay, does anyone else have questions for Rob about anything going on in the county?
And it might have already been stated, where is the projected location of this new jail going to be, in the same place, or?
Yes, Angela, it'll be in this. That's what we're looking at right now. As long as everything fits in there, we own the lot right across the alley. So we're looking at building the sheriff's office on that lot, and then the jail where the jail is at now. So as long as everything will fit, that's where we're going to have them.
So how will you do this, Rob? Build part of it and keep the jail occupied and then move them over to the completed building, or how's that
Right.
going to work?
Well, right now with everything that's going on, we don't have very many prisoners in the jail itself. They're all down at Bent County, and that's the big thing. It's costing us about $60,000, $70,000 every month for Bent County to house our inmates. And so we've got to get this jail built so we can get away from having to pay them all that money. And so what we'll do, we'll build the sheriff's side, and it won't take that long to build it. And then we can move them into it, and then we'll tear the jail down and get it built.
Oh, okay. Wow. So when our jail is finished, will the Otero County facility be able to house inmates from somewhere else or not?
That's what we're hoping. So then we can make the money.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. Because a lot of them do that. A lot of them build the jail big enough to where they can house their inmate plus a few more. And
Okay.
people are always looking for that.
Yeah, that's great. Wow.
Yeah.
So does anyone else have questions for Rob? I've asked all the questions. Well, thank you, Rob, for sharing with us. We'll look forward. You say you'll break ground next spring for the.
Yep. That's what we're looking at. Julie, is breaking ground next spring.
Okay. All righty. Well, thanks for joining us today, Rob. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
And now we're going to hear from the city of La Junta. Elisa Libby is with us, and she's the director of finance at the city. So tell us what's going on in the city of La Junta, Elisa.
Oh, yeah, I thought I was supposed to just tell you all about the budget.
Well, you can do that too. We'd love to hear about that too.
Okay, so we did our budget presentation last week, and the first thing we talked about was our enterprise funds, which are water, sewer, sanitation, and electric. Those are enterprise funds, which means they have to be run as a business, like anybody else's business. You have to have your profit, your loss, and all of that. And one of the things we noted was the loss that we've been taking in water, wastewater, and sanitation. And it's not a surprise if you paid attention to any of the budget presentations I've done. We've talked about this a lot. They did last year increase the e-cost adjustment, and they made it permanent. So you used to have it change all the time on your bill, and now it's just straight permanent. And that equalized electric out. And so this next year we expect to save $60,000. So one of the things we talked about was that even though we're a business and we're for profit, unlike some businesses, all our profit needs to be is enough to cover our expenses and put stuff away for a rainy day. Utility boards asked for a rate study to see what rates would be acceptable to bring us back to where we need to be so that we're not making a loss every year. And then we talked about the employee benefit, that's the employee's insurance. And we have had increases in that for the last 4 years. And we did raise the premiums for employees. And when we renew in June, So our fiscal year is July to June 30th, so we renew in June. We'll see if they increase us, and if they do, then we may have to raise the premiums just like anybody else for the employees for insurance. And then next year, they're going to use Conservation Trust Fund money to do the City Park tennis courts. So we're kind of excited about that. I'm still waiting for the grant for the basketball court over there at College Overlook, but that's a lot of money and we haven't gotten that yet. But it is on our master plan, so I'm really hopeful. One of the things we talked about is that we have gone state collected for sales tax, so people don't pay us anymore; they pay directly to the state. That's been kind of nice, and we did anticipate an 8% increase in our sales tax, which would be about $400,000. So I'm kind of excited that, one, I don't have to process them anymore, and two, I don't have to be responsible for them, and three, I'm going to make more money not doing anything. So that's always kind of nice. Next year we have $2,264,000 in grants, so we're pretty excited about that. We should be finishing up Live Well. We should be getting our parks and trails done. We have some grants for the EPA so that we can get rid of the last, I think there's the last 3 or 4 buildings that need to be torn down. And then they're going to be finishing up all of the COVID grants that they've been giving out, the feds. So this should be our last round of COVID money. But right now it's paying for our transit completely, 100%. In the past, we get a grant, but it only covers this, this, and this. The last 2 years, it's covered everything, labor, everything at 100%. We don't even, it's usually an 80-20, and last 2 years, 100%. But if we cross our fingers, maybe they'll continue that program. We also got some money for the pool. That was nice. Our revenue is anticipated at 8 million. Our expense is 11, which leaves us with a deficit. So it's a $3 million deficit. And we talked about the sales tax that's going to be on the ballot, that it's a $1.4 million anticipated revenue, which would lower our liability that we would have at the end of the year if we actually spent that entire budget. And history shows that if we did get that 1%, then we should be able to cover our expenses, bearing an emergency or things that were unanticipated. An example is I didn't spend all of my budget this year because we frankly didn't need a new copier. I have it, rotation, copier, folding machine, copier. And I told Rick, I don't need it. This one's working fine. So we rebudgeted it for next year in case I need it, but I didn't need it this year. So that's, a good thing. We talked about the reduction that we would have to make for 2024 with the cost of inflation and everything going up. Between 21 and 22, we increased our operating by 5.4%. And for 23, we increased it by 27.4% because, like was mentioned twice now, you can't get it, or if you get it, it's more expensive than it was. We'll be ordering an HVAC for the library this year because it's 50 to 60 weeks out. So we're hoping she'll get it by next November. And that thing's broken so many times that we constantly have someone coming and fixing it. The fire truck that we got, it was $896,000 and it took 1 year. And if we ordered it today, it would be 1.25 million, and it would take 2 years to get a fire truck. And Brad looked at me and goes, could you imagine being a fire department and hoping your truck lasted 2 years to get a new one?
Right.
And that, I just looked at him, I said, I can't even fathom it. I couldn't imagine being in his. So the biggest discussion was the increase in inflation, how it's going to affect future. We know the prices aren't going to stay as high as they've gone up because some of them are already coming down, and the effect that it'll have not just in 2023, but 2024. And so it was a discussion of, if the 1% doesn't go through, we'll have to make cuts. If it does go through, we'll be able to maintain. And that was a huge discussion part. And I always put my budget, I don't want to say my budget, our budget. We always put it on our Facebook page. So if you want to watch it, I go through a lot of numbers and I try to educate the public on everything that we're doing. Right now, we're doing pretty good with our general fund. Right now it's We're 1 million over our expenses, but I'm expecting some grant monies to come in that, because you got to reimburse it. Water is slowly coming back, and that was due to loans. Wastewater is slowly going downhill because of the loans. And so we're just hoping that the rate study will show.
Wow.
Oh, and you can email me anything.
What are the enterprise funds again, Elisa?
Electric, water, wastewater, and sanitation.
Okay. So does
Um,
anybody have any questions, quick questions for Elisa as we heard about what's going on in town? That's very informative. So I guess not. So like she said,
nobody wants to talk about numbers, nobody. And then when there's something that says taxes, it ends up on my desk, whether it's mine or not, because it says taxes and people freak out. But no, it's kind of scary time right now, I think, for everybody that's listening. And you're looking at your budgets and you're like, how are we going to? And the other thing we brought up is, I don't know if you all know, but they're talking about raising minimum wage to $15 an hour in the next 3 years. And I don't know how anybody, any business at all could afford that. I really don't. That's just scary. The whole economy right now is scary to me. Everything. I mean, as a business, how are you going to afford to pay somebody $15 an hour?
Exactly.
So Julie, this is, I'm not speaking for the chamber. I'm speaking as an informed member of the community. Nobody wants to pay more taxes. I understand that, but we really need to support. I believe that the number is 2A. We need to get behind and support, in my opinion, the increase in the sales tax to fund a lot of these programs that we're talking about.
That's a city matter, right, Greg?
That is a city matter.
Yeah.
And
It
I don't mean to
is.
hijack,
It
I
is.
don't mean to hijack the conversation.
It is to be, and I will tell you, it is, so if you spend $100, it's $103 right now. If you spend that same $100, it's $104. And I'm going to tell you a joke at the end just because it's funny. So I go and buy a soda, and I always get two, and they charge me $2.48, and I hate pennies. If we get this passed, it'll be exactly $2.50, and I don't have to collect all those pennies.
There you
So
go.
it's 2 cents.
Simple.
It's 2 cents. You know what I mean?
It is. And it's, again, Julie, I'm sorry, but I just have to enter. I am really passionate about this, and we just need to like lean into this and do this for our community.
I think so too. Yeah. Thanks for that plug, Greg. I had forgotten about that being on the ballot. So yeah.
I'm not allowed to plug.
Thank you, Alyssa.
As a finance director, I'm not allowed to plug.
Thank you
I had a
very much.
question that I put in the chat. I had a question I put in the chat. I don't know if you guys saw that or not.
Okay, go ahead.
I was just wanting to ask if the budget would be available on in hard copy, or it could be downloaded from the website.
Because it's proposed, I don't have it on the website, but you can come by and pick one up at the city building anytime. If you email your address, I'd be happy to send it. And there is a copy at the library for the public to look at. So yes, I have budget books available for anybody that wants to look at one. Because it's not adopted, I don't put it on the internet, because once you put something on the internet, it stays forever. And that may not be what we end up with after, because council ultimately decides if there's cuts or if we're going to change it. And that's why it's not available online as a proposed. But the adopted is always online. And you can even go get the 2022 adopted online. It is available right there.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you very much. We appreciate you being here today.
No problem.
So now we're going to hear from Otero College and Maureen Rickoff, who's the director of the international programs. Maureen?
Hello. Almost forgot to unmute myself. Thanks for having us today. I'm representing for our the college, certainly partners with everybody else who is here today. So appreciate being included. My job at the college is I am the director of the International Relations Program. Anybody who knows anything about Otero knows we have a very long history of bringing the world to Otero. This semester, we have over 60 students representing over 28 different countries. We have students in nearly every school and program on our campus. Many are athletes, but many are not. We're seeing a lot of students drawn to the medical lab technician program and the nursing program from all across the globe. So excited about the role that I play in bringing the world to Otero. 3 opportunities I just want to remind people about. The first is the Lunch and Learn series that we do at the Learning Commons, formerly the library, right in the middle of our campus. The first Wednesday of every month at 12:15, we have students, sometimes just one student, but if there's more than one student from that country, they work as a group. And we've got 6 students from Brazil this year, and they'll be presenting this coming Wednesday, the 5th at 12:15. If you'd like to bring a lunch, other people will be enjoying theirs as well. You certainly can still come even if you don't bring your brown bag with you. And then in November, on November 2nd, we have our Senegalese students, and December 7th is still to be determined. I'm negotiating between UK and Grenada. So I'll let you know once we know which group of students will be going in December. Second, we have International Foods Night coming up November 10th. We have moved this event to the fall. I know that traditionally it had been in the spring, but for lots of reasons, it made sense to move it to the fall. So trying to remind everybody to put it on their calendars a little bit earlier. So Thursday, November 10th, Rizzuto Banquet Room, doors open at 6. And
You're muted.
no, I'm not. Okay, I just put the link in the chat for if you would like to go to the event page and consider buying tickets or a table or becoming a sponsor. We have piano and dance performances from Colombia and Brazil this year. There will be raffle, silent auction, live auction, all to raise funds to support the students who come to our community. If you've been before, you know that there's lots of food, a variety of food served, 3 different courses with 3 choices each for appetizers, entree, and dessert. So November 10th, would love to see you all there supporting bringing the world to Otero. And then finally, the ongoing program we have to connect kids with families in the Arkansas Valley is our Friendly Family Program. We're always looking for families. Some kids don't know that they would like to connect with a family until a little bit further into the semester. So I still have kids that I would love to pair up. It's like all the good parts about being a host family, that you get to know a student one-on-one, but they don't live in your house. Just have them over for dinner, maybe make yourself available to help them run errands. It's kind of a once a month commitment, not a open up your guest room kind of commitment. So feel free to connect with me. I'm maureen.rickhoff@otero.edu. Or if you just search for Otero International, you'll find us. So appreciate the opportunity to let everybody know about events that we're doing in the community and how people can be connected. Happy to answer any questions if anybody has any.
Anybody have anything for Maureen? This is, you've got lots going on in the upcoming months.
Yeah, it's kind of fast and furious. They started arriving August 2nd, and it's been a whirlwind for the last 2 months, getting them all settled in and getting it all lined up. And they're excited. They're excited to see tarantulas. Go figure.
Right.
Excited about a lot of the opportunities that we have in Lahaina. So
Well, thank you very much.
sure, thank you.
So now we're
Hey,
getting
hey,
here
just
from,
real quick,
okay,
Julie, I just want to say, I know Maureen and I knew each other in Denver, and we worked with each other in Denver, and we're very fortunate to have her in our community. She's very talented individual.
thank you.
Thanks, Greg. Happy to be here.
So Andy, I see you on there and you must be between meetings at wherever you're at. So
I am.
Have
Thank
Andy
you, Julie.
Klemmer, who's the CEO at the Arkansas Valley Regional Medical Center, share with us. So
So I'm happy to report I am representing Arkansas Valley Regional Medical Center and La Junta and at the Colorado Hospital Association annual meeting in Colorado Springs. Learning a lot, meeting a lot of my colleagues across the state, especially in southeastern Colorado. Met the CEO at Lamar, Prowers Medical Center, and met Dave Engel down in Springfield, many CEOs throughout the state, and tremendous education opportunities here. I'll be bringing a lot of those learnings back to La Junta and programs through Colorado Hospital Association that we can tap into that are part of our membership. We continue to be very busy at the medical center. We're running an average daily census in the last few weeks between 8 and 10 inpatients, which is a significant increase, almost double. We're two patients on average in our ICU. Our ER is busy. Our OR has been extremely busy. We've been working hard to increase access for patient visits, to visit and consults with our specialists, our surgeons. Happy to report that on average, we're averaging about 7,000 total minutes. We measure OR time in minutes. That's how it's measured and that's how it's billed. And so we went from an average of 7,000 minutes per month in the last probably year or so. That's as far back as I've looked, may go back further, to doubling that in the month of August to 14,000 minutes. That's all specialties: general surgery, GI, orthopedic surgery, and others, as well as C-sections are included in that in our OB department. Our OB department continues to grow and be very busy. Our births are significantly increasing at the hospital, and happy to report that the hospital experienced its first net profit in the month of August, and as far as anybody can remember back. Wow. So glad to hear that. That was an all hands on deck effort across our medical staff and our nursing and our other staff that all go towards supporting the patient care here at Arkansas Valley Regional Medical Center. And so the September is looking to track similar. We continue the increased volumes, and we appreciate the support and trust the community puts in us to provide your health care for your community. And we're actively, I did get approval at the board meeting for the month of September to implement cataract and lens implant services in partnership with Rocky Mountain Eye. They'll be bringing an ophthalmologist here to La Junta, one of their newest recruits, and so latest techniques and training. And that is in partnership with another company. They'll be providing the technical services to bring all the supplies, the lenses, and the OR instruments, and the equipment that it takes to perform cataract surgeries, the laser, as well as lens implants. Don't have a target date yet. We're working through the details, but we got approval to move forward with adding that new service. Here, we'll probably start with 1 or 2 days a month and grow that as the volume dictates. Rocky Mountain Eye shared with us that they are seeing a good number of patients from our region, not just La Junta, but all the counties here around us: Otero, Baca, Crowley, Bent, Las Animas, and Prowers. And so they see that, and that's why we've reached out to them. They reached out to us, and we'll be starting cataract and lens implant services. Also going to be implementing pain management services probably the next 3 to 6 months. It takes a little longer to ramp that service up, and as well as many other new services that we'll be adding as we recruit providers and specialists that can provide that care here in the community. We're also in discussions with UC Health and Health One, HCA, so Presbyterian St. Luke's, and Swedish in Denver. They are going to start providing tele-urology services at our specialty clinic. So that's exciting. as well as UC Health would like to start having more of their specialists rotate out here to the specialty clinic here in La Junta. And Centura is also wanting to do that as well. And so more good things to come. Just wanted to share that great news with everyone, and please help share and spread the word. Your medical center is working hard to add new services and bring those here to the region we serve. So any questions for me? And I also have Heidi Gearhart, our CNO, Kelsey Herman, our Director of Human Resources, and Janice Leja, our Director of Marketing and Compliance on the call with us today.
You guys have been busy, Andy.
We have. So it's building on the good work of the past, and it's been an all hands on deck effort from the support from our board of directors, who are very engaged, and our employees and our medical staff.
Well,
It takes a
sounds
team.
exciting. Yeah, very good. Does anyone have any questions for Andy or the ladies? Go ahead. So I guess not. So we thank you for joining us, Andy. Now you can get back to your conference and meet more people.
Perfect timing. I'm actually due to start in just a few minutes on the next session. So
Thank you.
great to join you all on these calls every month. I learn
Thank
a lot
you.
myself. We have a lot of great services going on across our community, and I'm proud to live here. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll see you next month. Okay, now we have Kimberly Gallegos, and I don't know if Heather's going to join her from the Woodruff Memorial Library to talk
No.
about an exciting gift they got there.
Yes. Can you hear me okay?
I can, yes.
All right, cool. Heather unfortunately was not able to join the meeting, so I'm flying solo. We have a lot going on in October, and I've asked Julie to send out the calendar. So just make sure you take a look at it and don't miss out on lots of cool things that are coming up. A few things on the calendar that I want to highlight. I'll get to the biggest thing. I'll save that for last. Some of you that are in the planning stages of the Tarantula Fest may have met Dallas, and I'm probably pronouncing his last name wrong, Hasselhun. He was actually already out here in the Comanche grasslands. He is working on his master's thesis, and so he is a researcher from Michigan. And so he is taking part in some of the festivity part of more of the education piece, I guess. But we have the opportunity to have him next week during our teen activities group. So I want to plug that. So that's October 4th. This is a program that we offer for teens, but this one we kind of don't care who comes because it's going to be really cool. I had a meeting with him that we probably intended to be an hour, but ended up being a few hours. I have learned so many things about tarantulas, and it's really cool. The cool part about him is that the research that he's gathering, this is knowledge that has not really been gathered yet. So there's not a whole lot of information out there about tarantulas, especially these ones that we have in our area. And so his presentation is going to be pretty interesting. He had me captivated the whole time, but he will be here on the 4th, 5 to 7. We'll be in the meeting room. Like I said, anybody is welcome to come to it. So don't miss out on that. If you have more questions there, let me know. And then, of course, we want to give a shout out to Vance Johnson at the theater. He continues to collaborate with us to provide a free movie to our community. So that will be October 21st at the Fox Theater. We will be showing The Book of Life and Peter Pan. And so if you're wondering why we chose Peter Pan for October, the library, we have a lot of fun as staff. We dress up, we do group dress up for Halloween when it works out, when it falls on a weekday. And so we are being characters from that story, Peter Pan. Okay, so that's on October 21st at the Fox at 1 o'clock. And then the big thing is we have a huge book donation that we have got from an organization called Kids Need to Read. Some of you may have got this press release, but I just wanted to plug some information about that. So let me first plug the dates. We're doing a couple of special things on one date, October 28th. This organization will be coming for story time at 10 o'clock and then again at Friday Fillers at 1 o'clock here at the library. And what this organization is called is Kids Need to Read. In this press release, Gary says, I developed the Grow Your Library program to introduce a giving culture in the youth we meet at literacy events. Putting a book in the hands of a child and allowing them to expand their horizons is magical. Allowing that child to make a small effort in order to share that magic for future generations is a priceless lesson. It is my hope that the children will be proud of the book donations made in their name and tell their friends, thereby further encouraging both literacy and philanthropy. So part of what they'll do is when the kids that come to either of these events, in addition to the 735 books that they are donating to the library, they will also get a book donated in their name. So it's not anything that anybody has to purchase. This is just part of the program. And so if you're wondering, where did the number 735 come from? So this was to match the original book donation, which founded the library. So in 1888, Thomas Woodruff, a Boston lawyer, personally selected and shipped 735 books to his agent in La Junta, attorney George Kilgore. These became the original collection of what would become known as the Young Folks Library. And when you guys come into the library, there's actually that bookcase that's right there when you first walk in, where we keep the Lego builds that houses some of those original collection. That the Young Folks Library opened on October 20th, 1888. And they housed Kilgore's office was where they housed those books. And so if you know some of the history of the library, it's changed over time, and we actually have a cool little shadow box here that shows different places that the library was and what the old building looked like. But this is a huge thing. We want our community to know about it. We want our community to participate in it. And so if you need any more information about what's happening on that day, you can also call us and get that information. I also want to say that each child who attends will receive a free book, and then also a copy of Highlights Magazine, which is courtesy of the Kids Need to Read program.
Great.
So cool things on the calendar. There's even a picture of Heather and Robin with all the books that came in. So we're thankful for that. And we thank you for spreading our library information.
I'm always amazed at what goes on at the library. It's exciting. We have a very, very excellent library in La Junta. So
Thank you,
Kimberly, and
thank you.
everybody. I hope you can take part in these events that she mentioned. So thank you. So now I don't see Zeke on here. Zeke Ayala was going to come on and talk about the art project that's happening downtown this weekend, but we'll move ahead and maybe he'll join us in just a bit. So Angela, we'll let you take over now and talk about the Tarantula Festival, which happens next weekend here in La Junta.
Hi, everybody. It's Angela Ayala. The Tarantula Fest is going to be happening in downtown La Junta. Don't mind the noise. I'm in the car. Sorry about that. But it'll be happening in downtown La Junta, October 7th and 8th. On the 7th, we're going to be having a disc golf tournament brought to you by Good Day Disc Golf. And then Saturday, we're going to kick everything off downtown with a parade. It's going to start the usual parade route borrowed from the Early Settlers Day parade routes. Our home base is going to be at Livewell Park We'll have a main stage there, vendors on the south side of the courthouse parking lot, a car show on the north side of the parking lots. Klein Makerspace and Lahana Trading are partnering up to do a tarantula string activity. We're also going to be having a cornhole tournament happening in the parking lots at the Colorado Workforce Center. Edward Jones, Joe Ayala is bringing us an 8-legged race at the main stage happening throughout the day. DJ Buddy Beasy is also going to be at the main stage helping us keep things rolling throughout the day. Vance Johnson and the crew at the Fox are going to be showing the movie Tarantula at 3 o'clock. The Kashari dancers will be putting on a show at 2 o'clock. Chuck Wagon dinner kicks off at 5. Our guided bus tours are leaving the senior center at 4 p.m. Unfortunately, those tours are completely full at this point, which we're pretty proud of. That's about 78 seats that we had booked in advance. So we hope to have everybody join us for this event. So we'll be wrapping it up back downtown where you can listen to the Bluntful from 7 to 11, have some adult beverages. Trent Ryan and the Arc Valley Entertainment Group are donating the use of their photo booth. So come down and get some memories made. We'll also have the educational pavilion going on during the day from 11 to 3. Colleen Oquist has put that together for us and it's just fantastic. You can expect to see Paula Cushing. She's a spider expert coming from Denver, as well as representatives from the Colorado Arachnid Club. There will be some live specimens there for you to handle. So if you absolutely must touch specimens, you can do so at the educational pavilion and not in the wild where we don't want you to touch them. Lots and lots of different agencies are going to be represented there. Colorado Wildlife Division, Comanche National Grassland representatives from Ben's Fort. So we really have an all hands on deck for the community to make this happen. The whole reason behind this was to help educate the tourists coming in who are unbeknowingly just happy to see the tarantulas and they want to touch them and take them and do all these different things. We're trying to educate them to leave them in the wild so we can continue to see this phenomenon happen in Southern Colorado for many years to come. But it's the first of many. As Greg mentioned earlier, you know, it is our very first event. We're happy to take feedback to build and learn for next year. And also our committee is looking for volunteers. If you are not already overcommitted, I see the same faces in a lot of meetings, so I know we're all in the same boat together. But if you have time, we'd gladly take you on as a committee member. Or if you're interested in being a vendor at the courthouse on Saturday, the 8th, booth spaces are only $20. You still have time to get in on that. Or you can simply join the parade and come out and have some good community fun. Local restaurants will be open, hopefully providing fast, friendly service to all the people coming in to have food. So we hope to just keep everybody in the downtown so we can all benefit.
So Angela, where is the education pavilion? Where's the site of that?
The La Junta Senior Center.
Okay. I mean, it's open all day, correct?
It'll be open from 11 to 3.
Okay. Does anybody else have any other questions for Angela about the festival?
I just give a huge shout out to Ange and her committee, you know, starting to try to create something, and they've worked really hard. And from the chamber perspective, I think we've been supportive, and whatever else you need, Ange, we'll do it. But I think this is a huge undertaking, and we need to give Angela and her committee a lot of shout out.
So thank you very much. We look forward to seeing tarantulas next weekend.
Thanks, guys.
Does anyone have any questions for Angela? Okay, thank you much. So now we're going to hear about an event that's coming up. It'll be over at the Rocky Ford at the Arkansas Valley Fairgrounds. And Lynn Horner is going to tell us about the Mennonite relief sale. So Lynn?
Thank you for the opportunity to share. I'm going to invite any and all of you to join us October 14th and 15th for what's called the 47th annual Rocky Ford Mennonite Relief Sale. It's a relief organization of the Mennonite Church that is done in about 40 different states and some of the Canadian provinces to raise money for both water projects, food relief food for different countries. They're directly involved in a lot of food projects right now in Ukraine, but it just provides an avenue for the Mennonite Church to help provide relief and take care of different, particularly in different African countries, opportunities for water projects to continue to have good drinking water. So it starts on Friday evening at 5 o'clock. A lot of the booths will open. There are a variety of different booths. There's a quilter's corner, crafts booth, nutrition booth. A lot of different food kind of events will take place. And then there is at the Gobin building downtown, there will be from 5 to 7 an opportunity for pulled pork sandwiches and also a soup and salad evening meal. And then at 7:30, there is a Huston College Mennonite Church Choir will be performing for, usually it lasts for about an hour, and they'll be doing a variety of different songs, of some gospel, some religious, just a variety of different songs that evening. All of this happens free of charge, so come join us Friday evening and take part in that program. Saturday morning, things start off with a fun 5K fun run and walk that you're welcome to take place in. That starts at 8 o'clock in the morning. You know, this time of the morning, it's pretty brisk, but if you're out running, that's a good time to be doing it. A lot of the booths will start opening at 8 to 9 o'clock in the morning. The pantry is a lot of different baked goods and baked breads that's available, and usually those items sell out in a couple hours. So if you're interested in some great baked products, come early to take part in those. There's a general auction that happens that starts at 9:30 in the morning. It has a lot of handmade items that will be available for sale, some collectible items, just a little bit of everything. And then at 1 o'clock, we do a special auction. We have 2 local gentlemen that each year restore an old tractor. This year it's a 1942 John Deere tractor, and have restored it to up in great running condition, and it'll be auctioned off at 1, and then at 1:30 we start what for a lot of people is probably the highlight of our sale time. It is a quilt auction, and there'll be about 100 handmade quilts that will be available to be purchased on site. And for the first time this year, we are also going to be doing a simulcast where people can be online and bid, and won't necessarily have to be here to bid on the quilt auctions as items as well. There are kids activities. There's a kids auction that starts at 10 o'clock in the 4-H building and usually goes for an hour and a half. During the day, there is a barrel train outside where kids can hop in and ride pretty much all over the 4-H grounds. But it makes for a fun time and opportunity, and as a great way for us to connect with the community, but also to create a great fundraiser to raise money for those people in need. So with that, I gladly have you join us 14th and 15th of October for the 47th Annual Mennonite Relief Sale. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Lynn. I'm going to be a personal cheerleader here. If you have never had the soup on Friday night at the Gobid building, it is worth the trip to Rocky Ford to get soup and a sandwich at that supper that night. It is delicious. So I'm giving you my plug there, Lynn. So does anybody have any questions for Lynn? So now I don't know, has Zeke, are you on anywhere?
Thank you.
Thank you, Lynn. Zeke, I don't see him on here. So is there anybody else on that would like to share something about their
You bet.
organization? Natalie, I see you.
Yes, I would. If there's time, I would love to share.
Yes, if Zeke's on here, go ahead and share what you have. So Natalie Brown from Santa Fe Trail BOCES is on.
Thank you so much, Julie. So yes, Natalie Brown, Assistant Director of Santa Fe Trail BOCES. I am new in this role as the Assistant Director. However, I've been working with the BOCES and member districts for the last decade. So I'm not new to the area, just new to this new position. So I'm very excited in my role. One of the things that has changed since I've come on board, we no longer have Jennifer Nesselhuff. I keep trying to convince her to come back, but due to circumstances, she's not able to rejoin our BOCES at this time, but she led a lot of great work within the community. I'm sure many of you know who she is, regarding supporting our students with career and technical education and opportunities. So I'm carrying the torch moving forward. We continue to have our RISE grant through the Generation Networks of Schools, and the resources that are coming from that, we are able to carry on our Pathways to Prosperity projects for our students. So that's continuing to move forward. Right now, the two areas that we are trying to find additional funding for are our Wheels to Work, as well as our career cab options that we've given in the past for our students to have more engagement out in the community and engaging with businesses that they are interested in maybe choosing a career field in. Right now, we're just trying to seek more additional funding because we have run out of the funding that we previously had to support both of those programs. Excuse me. Right now, we also have about 20 students in internships. It's very exciting. The one area that we are continuing, I was going to thank Andy Flemmer from Arkansas Valley Regional Medical Center, because he has been instrumental, but there's been a lot of changes since we've gone through a pandemic trying to get students back placed into medical facilities. So I just appreciate their work. One thing that I want to make a plug for is that if any of you on this call are interested, or you know somebody who might be interested, we are working with a company called U-Science. U-Science is a nationally recognized company that helps build kind of student profiles when it comes to not only the students' interest in possible careers, but also what their aptitude is for those careers. And it kind of matches those two things together. One thing that I learned about in partnering with them again this year is that they actually have a free opportunity to local businesses to provide all of the different jobs that are involved. For example, we already have like our correctional facilities already are embedded within the system, and some of you may already be doing this as well. But when you post your job positions and you say, here are the things that are available in our own community, as the students do their interest as well as their aptitude and they get the results, they can search by zip code, and anything that they are qualified for or should go in that direction will pop up. So if you want to solicit and kind of inquire students that are already in the Valley, this is a great way to do it. So if you're interested, feel free to contact me. My email is just natalie.brown at Santa Fe Trail BOCES, so it's sftboces.k12.co.us. I'll put it in the chat because that'll be a lot easier, but feel free to reach out if you want more information about how you can connect with them to get your business for free uploaded on there. And it's, like I said, it's national. So even if there's kids from outside of the Valley that are interested in a job within our area, they can search and find you. Thank you. Thank you, Julie.
Well, thank you very much, Natalie. Does anybody have any questions for her or anything about BOCES? So is there anybody else on? We have just a few minutes. If you've got something you want to share about your organization. And if not, I would like to plug the art project, Art Revitalizing Town, ART, which is this weekend. Actually, there's young people down painting the alley right behind the post office, even as I speak. And there'll be painters on, I think, tomorrow afternoon and Saturday, working on the project. So there'll be vendors and lots of activities down there. So get on downtown. It's supposed to be a nice weekend and support the art project. So Greg, do you have anything to add?
No, I just appreciate your leadership on this project. Julie, thank you for putting this together. I think it's becoming and increasing, it's growing in volume, increasing in participation. And we all have our little pet projects outside of what we do with the chamber. Just really want to promote the Otero Museum, their chuck wagon dinner on October 8th, before we get a chance to get together. Also something we didn't talk about, but once we get together in October, well, we might miss it. Picket Wire Players is having their fall production. So just kind of like putting my chamber hat on for a second. People that say we don't have things going on in Lahana and we don't have anything to do, I think that's pretty much nonsense. I mean, just what we've heard here today. Hi, Anita. I just, we got a lot of great community organizations and people that are leaning in and doing a lot of great things. So
Right.
There's always something to do in Lahana.
That is definitely the case. You can do something every weekend during October. So we thank you all for joining us. And the next business lunch and talk and the last one of this year will be on Thursday, October 27th. And then we won't have a business lunch and talk in November or December due to the Thanksgiving holiday and Christmas events in December. So look forward to seeing all of you next month and learning more about what's going on in our community. So from the chamber, we thank you.
Yeah, we do. And I just have one final thing, Julie. I'm sorry. Our annual chamber banquet will be January 30th of 2023. And we are changing the location and it's going to be held at Inspiration Field. And more details and information will follow, but we're just planning ahead.
All right. Thank you much, Greg. So we thank everybody for being here. See you next month.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Thank you. Bye.